They noticed it the way people notice a smell in a room. At first you don't panic, you just pause, you look around, you assume someone else will say something first, and when no one does, you tell yourself it can't be serious, because if it were serious, someone would act. That's how this story begins. Not with a scream, not with an explosion, not with a single fatal mistake, but with silence. The facility was ordinary: steel, fluorescent lights, a constant hum of machines that made the air feel alive, the kind of place where normal is measured in numbers, output, pressure, temperature, efficiency, and for years, those numbers looked fine, not perfect, but fine enough. Until one small number began drifting. A technician named Miguel saw it first. He wasn't a hero, he wasn't dramatic, he was the kind of man who kept his head down and did his job. The reading was slightly outside the expected range, not enough to trigger alarms, not enough to stop production, just enough to make his stomach tighten. He always wrote things down. And like most reports, it disappeared into the system. A week later, the same number drifted again. A little further this time. Miguel mentioned it to his supervisor, a man named Carter who measured his life in schedules. Carter didn't even look up from his clipboard.
Did it trip an alarm? Did it stop production? Then document it and move on.
It's trending. It's not stabilizing.
Carter sighed like Miguel was asking him to lift a mountain.
I hear you. We'll bring it up in the next maintenance review.
Miguel watched him for a long second, waiting for something else. A question, a concern, a decision, but Carter was already walking away. In the next maintenance review, they did bring it up. A round table, coffee cups, slides on a screen, people nodding like they understood everything. Miguel wasn't even in the room. A junior analyst presented a graph, a line gently sloping in the wrong direction.
This deviation is worth monitoring.
How urgent is it?
She gave the honest answer, which in corporate language is also the safest answer.
Hard to say. We don't have enough data yet.
Okay, let's keep an eye on it.
That phrase, keep an eye on it, was the first nail in the coffin, because it sounds responsible, it feels mature, it sounds like you're in control, but it is also what people say when they're hoping a problem will solve itself. Over the next month, more people noticed. Engineers noticed small inconsistencies, operators noticed subtle changes in response time, safety staff saw irregular patterns that looked like early warning signs, but no single person owned the problem. Everyone assumed someone else would handle it. And that's the most dangerous kind of system. A system where responsibility is shared so widely that it becomes invisible. One evening, Miguel stayed late to recheck the readings. The facility was quieter at night, which made every sound feel louder. The machines pulsed like something breathing in the dark. He tapped the monitor again, as if touching it could make the number behave. It didn't. He walked to the office and found Elena, the safety coordinator, reviewing logs.
Hey, it's drifting again.
Elena looked up. Her eyes were tired. Miguel showed her. Elena's mouth tightened.
That's not small.
So we stop the line?
Elena stared at the screen like it was accusing her.
If we stop production, they'll ask why.
Because something's wrong.
And if we stop it and nothing happens, we're the ones who caused the shutdown. We'll get blamed.
So we just wait?
Elena looked away.
I'll escalate it. I will. Tomorrow morning, I promise.
Miguel nodded, but it didn't comfort him. Tomorrow. There's always tomorrow. And each of those 5 people read it the same way, not as an emergency, as a problem for later.
Let's discuss next week.
Do we have confirmation?
Confirmation, as if danger waits politely for permission. Then something happened that made everything worse. The system began compensating for the deviation. Automatic adjustments kicked in. Temporary recalibrations masked the symptoms. The numbers looked better, just enough. The deviation didn't disappear. It got buried, and when a problem is buried, it becomes harder to see, harder to feel, harder to believe in. The false calm was convincing. People relaxed. Meetings stopped mentioning it. Carter stopped hearing about it. Miguel stopped getting responses, and that is how omission becomes a decision, not a single moment of ignore it, but 1,000 moments of not now. Weeks later, the trigger event arrived. It wasn't a storm, it wasn't sabotage, it wasn't an unpredictable catastrophe, it was normal demand, a routine operating condition that had happened countless times before, but this time, the system didn't have enough margin left. It couldn't absorb stress anymore. The first sign wasn't dramatic, a slight delay, a sluggish response. Then another number shifted, then another. Miguel was on shift when it began. He felt it before he saw it, like the building's rhythm changed. He looked up at the monitor. His stomach dropped.
Carter, we've got instability.
Define instability.
It's escalating.
Can you correct it?
I'm trying.
Miguel's breathing turned shallow. He wasn't fixing the problem anymore. He was chasing it.
What's happening? It's the drift. It never stabilized. It's...
The alarm finally sounded, not a gentle warning, a deep, violent siren that ripped through the facility like a scream.
It's too late.
Why didn't we stop this earlier?
I told you.
Because the truth was unbearable. They didn't fail because they didn't know. They failed because they kept choosing later. The failure unfolded fast, a cascade, a chain reaction. A system pushed past its limits. Then the final sound, a dull, heavy impact that seemed to swallow the air. Silence followed, thick and unnatural, like the building itself had stopped breathing. Afterward, investigators would reconstruct everything. They would read reports, they would track emails, they would examine logs and meeting notes. They would find Miguel's first report, the one that said, an anomaly worth monitoring. They would find Elena's email, the one that begged for attention. They would find the meeting summary, the one that ended with, keep an eye on it. And they would understand something terrifying. There was no single moment where everything went wrong. There were dozens of moments where nothing happened, and nothing, repeated long enough, becomes fatal. This is what people don't want to admit about disasters. Sometimes the killer isn't panic, it's comfort. Comfort with risk, comfort with delay, comfort with, we'll deal with it later, because later always feels safe, until it isn't. Nothing was done. Until there was nothing left to do. This is final decision. The facility was ordinary, steel, fluorescent lights, a constant hum of machines that made the air feel alive, and for years those numbers looked fine.